Arrows. Welcome to this year's first edition of Dr. D's Pizza Party, a monthly series where I interview members of the Watertown School District staff and you get to know them a little bit better and we enjoy some pizza. Today we have some Dempsey's pepperoni pizza and we're going to interview Wade Heiser, Director of Transportation, who has delivered a bus, the Minion bus, for us to conduct our interview in. So let's go ahead and meet Wade. All right. So let's start by having you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
All right. I'm Wade Heiser. I'm the Director of Transportation for the Watertown School District. I am a product of Watertown, South Dakota, born and raised, graduated from Watertown High School. After high school, I stayed in Watertown. I did go to college, and then I came back to Watertown and have been here ever since. Been in a variety of positions and ended up here at Watertown School District.
All right. Well, really good. We won't ask you what year you graduated.
No.
All right. So how many years you've been working for the Watertown School District, and then maybe tell us a little bit about what you were doing prior to taking the job as Transportation Director.
I've been here just starting my 7th year. So 6 years I've been here. Prior to the district, I was in the LTL trucking business. I was a supervisor, so I dealt with routes on a daily basis. I had to create 7 to 10 routes a day. So the experience was good to come into this position.
Yeah, I seem to remember that when you got hired, you had a little bit of experience with that. So can you tell me and the audience a little bit about your role as a transportation director and maybe how that has impact on students?
Sure. Daily, we make sure we have all the routes. We have 23 routes a day that run. That's the main part of my job, is making sure that we have drivers for those routes every day, making sure the routes are efficient, so we're not too long of a route, so kids aren't on a bus for too many hours a day. Another part of it is I deal with some of the snow removal issues, some of the weather issues, and so we deal with a lot of that. And then the behavior issues, I deal with all the schools. I deal with the principals of every school in the district from time to time on behavior issues, and sometimes I call them and tell them how good kids were and how things went well. So I try to do that.
What's your favorite part of the job?
The variety. Honestly, not the same every day. In some ways it is the same. The buses go out and come back every day. So, but for the most part, it's variety. Weekly almost, you see something you've never seen before, whether it's dealing with students or drivers or something that happened with a bus route. And then just weather throws a wrench in there, and the different things that I deal with that.
Yeah, so you probably know the Watertown School District as well as anybody, the lay of the land, but what's maybe the most interesting situation you've had to deal with in your time here with Watertown?
Couple things. I remember I never thought I would do this. We had a day kind of like today in the fall, and as we know, you're dealing with air conditioning in schools, and we had a day when you called school for heat, and we actually ran the routes twice. We ran the routes, so we picked up students, I don't remember if it was maybe at noon, and we delivered, and we did our routes with those students from the schools that didn't have AC. And then at the end of the day, the schools that did have AC, we came back and ran their routes again.
I definitely remember that day too.
That was one of the most interesting days.
Yeah, that was pretty unique. And obviously you and I get into a lot of conversations about weather, and mostly in the winter in terms of the snow and can we make it. Like, tell me a little bit about that, or what your process is to help. Interesting
days those can be. There's times I'm up at 3 or 3:30 in the morning, and I'll go drive some roads, and usually I have to call and wake you up, and then we have our discussions. And I thought it would be easier, but there's times when, boy, you just don't know what to do. There's been a few times when it's simple. Hey, we should call it, you know, and
Yep.
it's pretty simple. But yeah, the early mornings and the conversations we have when I'm driving and back and forth, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, they are. And we can still make sure we mention that the complaints can still come to me on those weather days. I'll put that caveat in there. So thinking a little bit more about you and just outside of school, I know you're kind of a racquetball, baseball guy. I know those are a couple
Yep.
things that you really enjoy. Maybe you don't play as much baseball anymore,
No.
but what are some other hobbies that you have outside of school and the work you do?
Golf is another sport. Sports in general, I like to stay active, I guess. So I do a little golf, not as much as I'd like. Obviously, spend time with my family. I didn't mention before. My wife Joellen and I have a son, a senior this year at the high school, Cooper. So spend some time with them, obviously. And then I have kind of another business. My wife and I, we own some rental property, and I actually do enjoy managing and taking care of those.
Okay.
So spend some time doing
Yeah,
that.
you're a busy guy. That I do know. You seem like you have more than 24 hours in the same day I do. So, and then tell us one thing. So just one thing that those of us who work with you may not know. Something interesting.
Boy, that's tough. I don't know. You know, I kind of a joke maybe, but I had both my knees done here, replaced about a year ago, and it's not official, but I think I'm probably at least an inch taller after those surgeries.
That is actually quite interesting.
I feel taller.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Wade, for appearing here on Dr. D's Pizza Party. As we sign off, let's enjoy a piece of this fine Dempsey's pepperoni pizza.